Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. The Electronic Payments Coalition is a sponsor of the Hugh Hewitt Show, and its executive director, Richard Hunt, joins me. You know, Richard, I'd actually probably do this for free because I care about my points so much. The guardyourcard.com folks are my friends because the Durbin-Marshall bill is a nightmare, and I want to set this up. If you use points, and I just gave some points to my daughter to go with my son-in-law off on a vacation because they've been deployed for a long time, you don't want the Marshall-Durbin bill or the Durbin-Marshall bill to pass. How are we doing, Richard?
Look, I think we're doing pretty well. We beat the heck out of them last year. They tried everything in their toolbox to beat us. They had the Department of Transportation, Department of Justice, and even the good old CFPB investigate American companies, Hugh, just because they oppose this government takeover of your credit card. So look, I think Dick Durbin has 2 years left in the United States Senate before he gives it up after some 3 or 4 decades as a politician. But he's going to go all out once again with your buddy, Roger Marshall, to try and take away your control of your credit card. And yes, that means your reward points. And this is a jobs killer. We just did a study with Oxford Economics saying this would hurt economies across the country in small communities to the tune of 160,000 jobs would be lost. Because look, you know, when you go to the game Monday night, hopefully in Atlanta, you're going to get an airfare, you're going to go to a hotel, you're going to go to a restaurant, you're going to support small businesses across the Atlanta, Georgia area. This would just be a jobs killer. But here comes Dick Durbin one more time.
Now, Dr. Marshall is a friend. I like his staff, and I told him, as I told you when I was doing an event for Bernie Moreno, this is a bad idea, and he thought, oh, no, nothing will happen. Tell us, our audience, why are they doing this? Why are they trying to meddle? Free market people do not want their card points taken away. Guardyourcard.com.
Yeah, you bet. Look, it is one simple answer. The big corporate mega stores got to them. Home Depot, Walmart, Target, Amazon. They all want to save a penny, but that would jeopardize the safety and security of the American credit card system, which is the envy of the world. And Hugh, did you know for merchants, it costs less to take a credit card than it does to process cash? Now think about that for a moment. All the things you have to do to make sure that cash that you get from customers has to get to the bank in an orderly manner. So using your credit card is great for small businesses, consumers, and large big box retailers. But this is all a big play by the corporate mega stores.
So who are your champions on the Hill, Richard Hunt? The oldest, I used to be a lobbyist, and I used to be a lawyer, and I used to get people to get hired to do different things. I don't do that anymore. But we always had to have a champion on the Hill, someone who would fight for our team. Who's fighting for your team?
Oh, look, we've got a slew of good old United States senators who are on our side. This is bipartisan opposition. We have over 40, we think. They're completely on our side. They do not want the government to take over your credit card. You remember, Hugh, they did this in 2010 with the debit card. And what happened then? When price controls were set, goodbye free checking accounts, goodbye to reward miles on debit cards. And what happened with fraud? Fraud attempts went up. In fact, Hugh, this past year, fraudulent attempts went up 85%. These criminals are getting even more sophisticated. They're using AI to try to hack into your credit card. But we're doing everything we can to use AI to our advantage to defeat their attempts. We have a great bipartisan coalition ready to make sure Durbin-Marshall do not win once again in 2025.
When someone goes to guardyourcard.com, what will they find?
Yeah, you're going to see all the information about how draconian this bill is. You're going to find a link to contact your United States Senator and House member as well. We've had some 3.2 million letters to you, 3.2 million letters go to Capitol Hill in opposition to this horrible legislation.
You know, Dr. Marshall is very reasonable. Is he moving?
Well, he's moved to Sarasota, Florida, mostly, and away from Kansas. But no, he's not moving. He is joining up with his buddy, Dick Durbin. And look, you all know Dick Durbin is the number one enemy of a guy named Donald Trump.
Yep.
And I'd be very surprised if Republicans are going to join forces with Roger Marshall and Dick Durbin to defeat the Trump political activity, government activity, or to have the United States government dictate how you run your credit card. So this is going to be a very good test here for Roger Marshall and his so-called conservative philosophy.
Last quick question, Richard. How many Americans have point accounts? How many millions of Americans do you know have points?
Yes, so there are some 800 credit cards in existence by some 230 million, and 80% of the 230 million credit card holders participate in some type of reward program. And Hugh, the number one benefit, I know we talk about miles all the time, and that is a great benefit, cash back. Some 80% of folks making less than $70,000 use cash back around holiday season and back to school.
GuardYourCard.com. Richard Hunt, keep coming back. You guys are doing the Lord's work.
Hugh, I'm coming
and I'll
back
keep
for that.
working on
I'm
Dr.
coming back
Marshall
for that.
because it's a bad idea. It's a bad bill. It's a Durbin bill. Of course it's a bad bill. Richard Hunt, thank you. I'll be right back, America. Coming back with